Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, we're making it.
Yes.
It's the end of the school year. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest with you.
I bet. Yeah, Garrett has graduation tomorrow night. Yes. Yes.
No. Garrett.
Yep.
I saw him at your the renewing of your vows.
Yep.
I got to spend a little time hanging around him, and I just am. I mean, that's a man. Like,
yeah.
Wow, that happened.
Yeah, I did.
So, hey, what are we drinking tonight?
Tonight, we have a can.
It's a can.
It's a rare appearance.
Yeah.
This is actually, I think they're Fort Worth, possibly.
Fort
these
Worth,
guys.
yep. Martin House
Martin
Brewing.
House. This is the Bockslider,
Mm-hmm.
Toadies Texas Bock.
It says on the side, music and beer made in Texas
Yes.
by Texans.
Well, I do like the Toadies.
Toadies.
Yes.
I'm just saying. That was a very satisfying
Show beer.
open. Click.
Yep.
Oh, that is very nice. Way to go, Martin House.
Mm-hmm.
I can recommend. Good job.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
Nice.
Yep. As we were
Darker-
saying, it's the faux shiner.
Faux Shiner. It's a little bit darker than Shiner, right? I mean, I can't actually see it right now.
It might be a little bit.
It tastes a little darker than Shiner to me, which is it is very pleasant.
Yes.
So don't be thinking like heavy. It's great. I like that.
Yep.
Well done. Nice call, man.
Yeah. I had one single bottle in the fridge, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go buy something.
Well, I really appreciate you letting me mooch off you because I've been up here working all day long and
No problem.
did not get a chance to run out, but because I just came from practice.
Yes, you did.
They are in there practicing still, and I was like,
Gotta go.
I got stuff I gotta do. Oh man! Well,
Sometimes you just need a break.
Sometimes you just need a break. It's gonna be good. Sunday's gonna be great. Just not quite ready for it.
Even Jesus took breaks.
That's right. He did. It was very necessary.
Yes.
Way more necessary than we want to think sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of break, so with summer break coming up, do y'all have any plans? Your summer break is the end of summer break.
Hey, Mac, you're finally waking up. My summer break is really work because camp kicks off.
Camp kicks off, and you're like going.
Yes. So
but then
camp,
at the end of
it all, yes. I know next week Victoria and Michelle are doing their trip with the flags. They're going to whichever Disney is in California.
I'm sorry, that's Disneyland. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
drinking the beer.
Yep.
Disneyland. They're going to Disneyland.
Yes. Something to do with flags and some event that they're going to be in. And so they're going to do that.
Like marching band flags?
Yes, but minus the band, I believe, on this trip.
Interesting.
It's just flags.
Just the flags.
Yes. So they're going to be out there for that. So Garrett and I will be batching it, so to speak.
Nice.
Beyond that, I'm not sure what's going on this summer. Garrett is aged out of camp.
He sure has.
So we've only got one kiddo going to camp this summer. I'm sure there will be some trip at some point in the second half of summer.
Uh-huh.
But as of right now, I think people are just looking forward to getting out of school.
Yeah. Because graduation for Garrett.
Yeah. Tomorrow night.
I'm not.
Tomorrow night.
I'm not ready. I don't.
Yeah.
It's not something I need to be ready for. But
You've got time.
Yikes.
I'll be doing this again in 3 years.
Only 3 years.
Only 3.
Yeah. When mine happened, though, they're gonna go 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, they are.
Which also is like, wow, what were we thinking? Which we weren't. I mean, that's not how adoption works.
No.
But still.
Yep.
Okay.
Is your Mac working?
My Mac is working. It needed an update. That's all. Don't tell me you don't know what that's like, Windows
Oh, I know
guy
what it's
over
like.
there.
I know what it's like. But not during a show.
Not during a show. I should have. Sometimes you accidentally hit the button. I'm going to mute it because that's too much noise.
There you
go. Yeah. So we're going to talk today.
Try not to get too heated.
I'm trying not to get too heated. We're going to talk Macs and PCs.
Yeah.
So
the computer civil war.
The computer civil war. It has been, since the 80s. Right?
Yeah.
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 Since the 80s. It was a little bit different before the 80s in terms of who the players were.
Yeah, because it was really more business than anything.
Yeah.
You didn't have
business.
Well, I guess there were technically some little home kit computers that you could buy.
Well, that's technically how Apple started.
Yeah.
Being a home kit computer.
Yeah, but like the ones that I can't think of the model, but it literally just looks like a box with blinking lights on the front.
Yeah. I mean, and here's what I would tell you. I think that it's funny, given where we are now and some of the things that I know are going to come up here in a second, that I think that things started off very differently than where we are now in terms of vision, I guess, of what this could be. So this, little device that we have in front of us, and we're just going to stick right now with computers.
Okay, fair enough.
We can call in other things, but I feel like the main point of what we're talking about needs to stay kind of in this realm.
Okay.
I am definitely going to reference an ecosystem.
Okay.
But I think that that needs to be that's secondary.
Fair enough.
Okay. So why don't you talk us through some of the history here?
Oh boy.
Do you have this off the top of your head? I'm totally throwing this at you right now.
No, I can't say that I prepared for this one maybe as much as I needed to. So
it's fine.
Bear with me, folks.
No, it's fine. Just what you remember. How about this? As someone who was there.
There you go. Now you make me sound old.
Well, you weren't in California either, but
no, I was not. So I guess thinking back to childhood, I remember Max in the school.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we ever did was play Oregon Trail.
That's right.
And almost nobody survived Oregon Trail because you died of dysentery.
Dysentery was a killer for sure. And trying to ford that river.
There is a fun meme out there, too, about dying from dysentery, but it's not the disease. It's from dissing the guy named Terry.
That's hilarious.
I'll have to send that to you.
Yeah, my wife likes to likes the shirt that's come out. That's it's got the Oregon Trail wagon on it in 8-bit.
Yep.
Green.
Yes.
Green on black screen, and it just says, "Bear with me. I'm from the 1900s."
There you go. Yeah. So I wish I could remember what models those were. That was early Mac.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 80.
First Mac that was Apple that was in my house was an Apple II GS.
Okay.
And I don't feel like the ones we had at school were a lot further along than that, because that was when I was in the second grade.
Yeah, for me, this would have been 80, 85. Is that right?
That's 85? Earlier than
85. Yeah, because that's when we because we moved here in 85. Back home in Indiana, I didn't see this.
Yeah,
but it was when we moved here in 85.
Okay.
I'm third grade.
Okay.
Yeah, third grade.
Okay.
There was the Max, and you had the big bad computer lab, but all you ever saw anybody doing was playing video games.
That's right. And I will tell you, 5 years later, that's all we were doing there too.
Correct. Well,
we had Where in the World Was Carmen Sandiego. Do you remember that game?
I do remember that game.
Oh my gosh.
That, and I remember Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
Mavis Beacon teaches typing, the quick brown fox jumping over that lazy dog.
Yes.
No, absolutely. These are all like that's what we started with, and it was Apple. Apple had that first foray into like, hey, probably education's where we need to start.
Correct.
And that was brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But it had an interesting effect on me. I don't know if it had this effect on you. Having that computer at school actually made me want a PC more.
Interesting.
Because there were freedoms that you had not at school and on PCs that you didn't have with Apple. I could put that stinking file folder anywhere I wanted.
That's true. Anywhere you wanted. Yes.
It did not snap to a grid.
Correct. So looking back at this, we had the Macintosh Plus, which was the screen and everything all in one.
All in one.
With the
Gone
floppy.
back to that, didn't they?
Yeah, they have gone back to the all in one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is showing
like floppy.
3. Is that 3.5?
I thought that was the big one. I didn't think the 3.5 was until later.
Well, at least the one that's in this picture is showing it with a 3.5 inch.
How about that?
Yep. Yeah, that's 3.5 inch hard disk.
Hard disk.
With the single button mouse.
Single button mouse, folks.
And the big clickety-clack keyboard.
PC came out with that right click, and I was like, what is going on? They just, I mean, they're just going to have all kinds of buttons on these things after a while.
And they have now.
And they have now.
And, of course, they both stole it from Xerox.
Yeah. Way to go, Xerox.
Yeah, I'm afraid Xerox
kind of got screwed.
It.
Yeah.
They had some great stuff, but just didn't know what to do with it.
Poor guys. Stolen.
Shouldn't have showed your product off.
Well, but, you know, should they have, though? Like, we're so grateful that they did.
Yeah.
They're just not quite as cutthroat as it turned out it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate. You get out there and you have some good ideas, and then you realize, oh, these other people are like playing for keeps.
Yeah,
I didn't realize this was going to be proprietary.
Yeah. Well, even then, I mean, I don't think anybody could have envisioned the home PC market.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're talking, that was still back 70s when they were at Xerox and saw the mouse.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's like, what would we do with that? We don't even have a GUI yet. It was all still command line.
You said GUI.
I did say GUI.
So GUI, graphic user interface.
Yes.
For those that don't remember the difference, there was a, like, now if you open up your computer and you look at like I'm going to say terminal.
Terminal, there you go.
You can look at a terminal. You can actually, like Seth Stone, one of our friends, can just do everything you do with the mouse
in the terminal.
Yes. He's way smarter and faster than me.
Yes.
But that's actually that's speaking more of the language of what the computer is actually speaking.
Correct.
In that command line than what we're used to. What you see on your device in your screen all of the time now, is a GUI.
Yep.
It's a graphic user interface. It makes sense to your eyes what's going on inside the computer.
Yep. Back in my day.
Back in Chris's day.
All command line. MS-DOS.
Yeah. I'm not sorry that evolved, to be honest with you.
I miss it.
But we started to see, I guess, in this GUI, started to see some of the differences that would pop up between Apple and PC.
Yep.
I already referenced one, that like snap grid that showed up on Apple. Mm-hmm. I feel like you started to see even then the beginnings of this, like, in order to make this not break, we need more control.
More control, yes.
And so Apple started taking the line of,
do it our way.
We're gonna give you, as my friend Chad says, we're gonna give you what you want. You just don't know it yet.
Yes.
You don't know what you want. Let me tell you what you want.
Yeah.
And there've been so many times that it's been like, holy crap, that was exactly what I wanted. And then there's so many times that I'm like, why did you change that?
Yeah.
That was not an improvement. We want our ports back.
Yeah, if it doesn't have ports, you can't call it a Pro.
And you know what? We got our ports back.
You did.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's important.
You did.
Power to the people. But PCs started having more freedom.
Yeah, they definitely left it more open to
of expression.
Yeah, expression, your interpretation. How did you want to use the device versus we're going to show you how to use it.
Right.
PC became more early on the language of business versus at home. Mm-hmm. They got really heavily entrenched in business. Again, they just took a completely different approach than Apple. Apple's like, we're going to catch you in school. Microsoft said, that's fine, we'll take the businesses. And so you just had such a proliferation of Microsoft, not just at the OS, but the emergence of Microsoft Office.
Office, baby.
Wasn't necessarily the best Office package out there, but they competed and they drove everybody else slowly out of the market.
Well, here's what I think that they did really well. And this is going to dovetail into what I think Apple has done really well. So Microsoft did not give you just a Word document or word processor word processor program.
Word processor, yep.
They gave you a word processor program, and they gave you a data management program. Field.
Talking about spreadsheets?
Yeah.
Excel? Yep.
I was like, not spreadsheets. That's Google. No, that's just Sheets.
Yep.
But they gave you Word. They gave you Excel. They gave you PowerPoint, which, can you remember like the insanity that was PowerPoint whenever that first came out? We had to, we immediately started making, like, that was part of school. What you had to be doing was PowerPoint presentations.
I mean, in high school, we had a dedicated class that all you learned was Microsoft Office.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to the class. You're just going to learn how to use Office.
Yeah, I think it was, I guess I was in high school. I feel like it, like we started to do some of it in middle school, but the like, you need to know, like, you need to be proficient. In order to be a college student, you need to be proficient in Word and Excel.
Yes.
And probably PowerPoint.
Yep.
And I remember thinking, like, these, like, programs that are not this, like, they serve different purposes, very different purposes. They are very different, but they work together so well.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what they did so well. There was that they were like, hey, there are all these different aspects of work or life. And what you really want is a unification of those things. You want to be able to look up at the file menu or whatever and know what to expect there.
Yep.
Which I would say, like, honestly, they did a fantastic job of making that so predictable.
Yep, they did.
And I think that is underrated in terms of not only a lot of our intuition now with computer programs, but also what it then brought to, like, their products in general.
Yep. Yeah, looking at this, the first official release of Office was October of 1990. So
wow.
So when I took that class in high school, it was a required class. And so looking at this time frame, we would have been using like Word version 6. And I think now they're technically up to 14 or 16 or whatever the...
It's 365. I already saw it.
Yes, it was O365. Now it's M365.
Oh, gee.
In 3 years, we'll call it something else.
Sure, why not? They're going the opposite direction, though. They shouldn't be M and then N and then O. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So I guess looking at this, technically the last version of Office, as they're calling it,
Mm-hmm.
was version 16.
Okay.
Once you go 0365, it looks like it's a whole nother animal.
Okay, but here's where I think Apple has kind of run away with it.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say this. And I understand what it does to your insides when I say this. I do. I get it. I guess partially because of their control, like their obsessive compulsive control thing that they have made it possible for their, I mean, it's called the ecosystem for a reason, for their ecosystem to be so far reaching. I'll talk about the problem with that in a second.
Okay.
But the fact that I have seamless, and by seamless, I mean almost not, like I don't have to set it up. Seamless integration through a computer, a phone, a watch, and a tablet, and my TV. Now, I have the ability to read messages, like text messages, and read and respond to text messages. I can read and respond to emails.
Yep.
Maybe not so much on the TV with the emails. I can my like browser history is across all of these devices. If I'm like, I can't remember what was I looking at the other day that oh no, it's just right there. It shows all of that. I can now use apps from like a mobile operating system on a computer operating system.
Yep.
There's so much integration within itself that their ecosystem makes it hard to leave
Sure, that's by design.
once you've gotten in.
Yes.
And I don't just mean hard to leave because you might miss some messages. I mean hard to leave because it's so nice to just not have to worry about it.
Sure.
In so many ways. And I'm not saying that other places don't do this to some extent or have some of these features or even had some of these features first.
Correct.
But it's not the same level, in my opinion.
Yes. So trigger warning, what he just described is what I call the mindless drone effect.
Okay.
Just
I'm not hurt.
Right
I'm not
on.
hurt.
Just come right on along. Don't look over there. Just put these blinders on.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. This will be fine.
I'm following the ant in front of me.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Okay. Lemmings, baby. Lemmings. So I guess I still maybe I've still got something stuck in my craw.
Yeah.
Microsoft tried to go that way.
Did they?
And they got destroyed in the 90s.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Oh, you can't make people use your browser? What do you mean it can't come pre-installed with some other browser? Why do we have to use your stuff to get other stuff?
Really?
Oh yeah. That's why they got beat to heckin' back, to try to put it politely, for trying to go their own way. And all the businesses were like, whoa. They if they want to strip out legacy, it's a nightmare, because businesses are like, we still use that. You can't remove that. You're going to cripple our business. And it's like, yeah, you should have updated by now, sucker. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I mean, they got totally roasted for that. And in the end, they ultimately didn't have a court case. It kind of got settled because the government and everybody had to admit that they really didn't have much of a case.
They don't have a case.
No, they didn't. but that wasn't the perception.
Yeah, it's court of opinion.
Court of opinion.
They got destroyed.
Yes, and even to some degree now, if they still try to do that, there's a lot of screaming and hemming and hawing going on, and it's like, guys, this legacy code's got to go.
Mm.
You gotta let it be. So I mean, there's good and bad to being in an ecosystem.
Yes,
I'm stuck in some of that with Android.
Yes,
I cannot deny that. I am thankful that some things do translate into other operating systems in terms of applications. Huge fan of what is it? Movies Anywhere that lets my library.
Yeah, that syncs your library from one.
Such a great thing.
Yeah, that
I leave here and I go to some other platform that supports it. Just comes right on over.
Isn't that nice?
It's amazing how that works. Do I think I could leave Android? I do. I would give anything for this to just be a basic flip phone with a hotspot.
Bro.
And then I would just have my computer with it.
And
I'd be done.
I am there as long as I get to keep the blue bubbles.
That's not the way it works in Apple land.
No, it's not.
I give everybody the green dot.
Yes, you do. Every time.
Every time.
Which is, less of a thing. And it's so funny that they turned that up on its head for Apple. I got the we were talking about this the other day. So there's a funny thing that happens, and I think no matter which side of this you're on, you know that this is the case. So there's the green dots or the green bubbles on an Apple device whenever an Android device is or non-Apple device. When a non-Apple device is in a chat with you or a text message with you, they're green bubbles instead of blue bubbles.
Yes.
And it used to be that when you would respond to a blue or a green bubble with like emoji or something like that, it would like a reply to that message. It would look fine on an Apple device, and on an Android device, you would see the when an Android device responded to an Apple message, you would see an Apple device would see the like regular response, and an Android device would see the like explanation of the response. Is that right?
Yeah, I would get the
I can't remember.
Emphasized.
It's like,
it's
oh
a
my
text
gosh,
message. It's not social media.
But it is
Stop
social media.
Apple, stop it.
And now it's the other way around. I'm just saying, it's a power move.
Don't like my text message.
Don't like your text message? Okay.
Don't give me thumbs up.
I do need to remember that, because sometimes I do that instead of giving a thumbs up for like, I got it.
Yeah, I think you did that earlier.
I'm sure I did, because
that
sounds like me very much to be like.
There you gave just the normal thumbs up, which I'm okay with. That's its own. It's its own thing. But I thought on one of these, maybe it was somebody else.
Did I like it?
That somebody it was like the little thumbs up type like on
the message
itself, and it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I've done that before for sure. I really like doing it to Paul, because sending emojis to Paul is just kind of funny. Our friend Paul is he's a year younger than me, and he's already an old man in so many ways. Like, if you want to really treat Paul to some sort of candy, he wants black licorice or Werther's Originals. Okay. He's like 80 years old already.
Okay.
Really against anything that tastes good except for steak. So good. Anyway.
So I'm going to throw my boss under the bus here.
Oh, here it goes.
He was the last one that I see that did it, who responded to a text message with the emphasized thumbs up to the message itself.
Yeah.
Not an emoji return thumbs up.
I'm just saying.
It's Apple's fault.
It's Apple's fault. But they do want it to be social media. They want it to feel like you're
Social media is the devil.
socializing.
I'll be Bobby Boucher's mom. It's the devil.
Devil. The devil woman. But how do you like? Okay, here's the thing. Like, I have never been able to, like, someone who really likes PCs, someone who really likes the operating system of Windows.
Guilty.
I have never been able to convince anyone who likes the other that they should like this one better. I don't know what that is. It's almost like it's not a personality type thing, I don't think. It's more of like a comfort level is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I think it comes down to what is intuitive to the individual. I can use a Mac. I have to for work because I've got to support them. But if I had to work every day on a Mac, I would pull my hair out. Just because
Not intuitive to you.
It's not comfortable to me, no. And some of that is I've just known Windows since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mac is fine. It's got some pretty stuff, but...
Oh, it's pretty.
Yes. But it's not home for me.
Well, and a PC was home for me for so long. I feel like I went all the way through college from I don't know. I feel like it was high school and college. But that was the huge majority of when I was actually doing anything functional on a computer.
Sure.
Other than playing
video games.
Which
you can't do well on a Mac.
But, back in the day, Oregon Trail worked just fine.
Yes, it did.
There was a flight simulator that I feel like worked fine too. Anyway, at some point, no, that's what it was. My friend had a flight simulator and it worked on his PC at home. And I was like, wow, that's nice. I can play Putt-Putt on my Apple computer. Anyway, so, but I would say like I until after college still knew how to use a Mac, was kind of keeping up with some of the changes that were happening because there were so many changes that were happening there in the late 90s and early 2000s. Graduated from college in 2005. 2008, which is also the year that I got married. The iPhone becomes a big deal.
Yeah.
And I remember like this change in that, like, oh, this is a thing. Like, my BlackBerry was cool, and now it's not cool.
Best physical keyboard ever.
Best physical keyboard ever. And the Pearl that had that little...
the little ball.
Ball?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
But it was hard to compete with just using your finger.
Yeah, they tried with the Storm, I think was their...
The Storm?
I think it was Storm. That seems right.
Anyway, it kind of turned everything on its head. That's when I also switched to Mac. And I've been using Mac ever since. Part of the reason I wanted to have this conversation, though, is that I'm using a PC at work. I see what you're looking at over here because I have this Mac still on this table.
Yeah.
This is the last week for me using this Mac as like a backup.
Okay.
So I have a PC at work that I am mostly working off of now.
The Lenovo?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's an X1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm trying to get used to it, right? There are things that I realize like, oh, that's not as easy as it used to be because I also have a lot of Macs in my work area.
Sure.
Because all of the AV computers that we have
Yes.
are currently Macs, except for one computer that's technically running our live stream, but I don't ever see the operating system for it because it's just that ubiquitous rack-mounted PC.
Yeah.
And all it does is run the studio that live streams for us. It's pretty cool how they have that functions. Resi.
Yep.
If you don't know, look that one up. But I find myself being a little bit confused sometimes because my old PC mind does not recognize a lot of the operating system anymore.
A lot has changed since 95.
A lot has changed since 95.
They tried to make it look pretty.
I don't know if they achieved that, but there's some of it that I'm like, oh wow, you just have to press there, and that makes sense. It's more in the center. Like, okay, that feels a little bit Apple to put the things in the center as opposed to putting it on the left side bottom row.
Well, if you look at mine, whoops, I moved it to the left.
You moved it to. See, I didn't even know you could do that yet.
I don't leave it in the center. I can't do that.
Yeah, I didn't even know you could do that. So there's some things that I got to figure out. But I'm back to using all. There's still some our work stuff moved to Google, so I'm trying to figure that out. But anyway, the Microsoft suite, like the Office suite, is as easy to navigate as it has always been.
Absolutely.
So appreciate that. Anyway, there's just there's a lot, and now I'm like between worlds as opposed to being firmly in one.
Correct.
And again, what it came down to is a lot of the devices that I need to support are either better supported from a PC or only supported from PC.
Yep.
And that's kind of the way that some of this has gone.
And I guess that's more in the AV world for you.
Yeah.
It's driving you that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a lot.
As you say that, I'm thinking about Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He purposely runs a Windows virtual machine on his Mac to use those PC-specific applications for what he does.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it.
He just hasn't been willing to go full PC yet.
Well, I'm doing it for him.
You hear that, Jason?
See.
Come on.
I'm going to get a dirty message.
Hey, as long as it's in a boost, that's all that matters.
Right. As long as it's in a boost, man. Just keep sending those boosts, Jason.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you, man. Anyway, it's a lot. And it's also there's definitely days that I'm like, I wonder why nobody has texted me. And I realize, I don't have that pop-up on my computer anymore that's telling me I have a text message.
Correct. So you've had to revert back to looking at your phone.
Revert back to looking at my phone. I've got a charger now on the right beside where my computer sits.
Okay.
So that's better anyway, because then it's sitting there on the charger as opposed to in my pocket.
Well, as long as this doesn't get you in trouble with your wife, I think you're okay.
No, she doesn't.
Because she may have been used to your responsiveness before.
I will tell you, my wife is a teacher. I hear from my wife way less than she hears from me during the day.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sending her Instagram stuff, little videos and things like that, because I don't know if you other husbands out there know this, but it's really important that your wife knows that you think about her
during the day,
not when she's not there. Yeah, during the day.
Yep.
When she's not around you, it's really important that she knows that you think about her. I will tell you, it does open you up if you have a wife who has a job that's as taxing as, say, a 5th grade teacher. It does open you up to feeling a little bit neglected because they're not going to respond until 5 o'clock.
Sure.
Whenever they get off work. It's still important.
Yes.
So make sure, especially if you have a wife is in a position to be able to respond, that you somehow however you can figure it out. It's better if it's different from person to person. If you somehow figure out how to let her know that she's on your mind. Yeah. That's a little relationship advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one was for free.
For free. There
no
you go.
Satoshis needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess to your point there, you don't have to worry about it as much. I know my wife has adjusted some because there are some days that I can be very responsive. And then there's some days that I'm just so in it that I'm not looking at my phone. And then I finally see it, and it's like 6 or 7 messages deep, and it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Love you.
Whoops. No, I feel that. For sure, I feel that.
Yep.
But, it's just little things, and it's going to be little things until
absolutely.
Until it makes complete sense.
See, but now you get to get on my soapbox, and you go, there's no reason why you can't make this app available for Windows. There's no reason why it can't be made available for an Android.
Yeah. It's funny to me though, like how many apps the way that it's made available is through a browser.
Yes.
I'm like, this sucks. I don't like using a browser for mail. Sorry. It's just weird to me.
Yep.
Google, get your crap together. Like, what's going on there? I don't get that. That doesn't... No likey. But I was trying to play music. I have had, like, all of my music through Apple Music now for so long. Like... It's like all my friends that are on Spotify. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you. Like,
you can install.
You keep sending me these things. I don't know what to do with them.
The world's worst malware on your PC. And install iTunes.
Really?
I don't recommend it.
All right, let's not do that then. But the way that they have it is through a browser, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting.
Yep.
Why? Anyway.
I don't know why they have this perception internally that if we make our killer apps available to another platform, now people are just naturally going to leap to that other platform. It's like, I don't see it that way at all. You bring your apps to another platform, you're now just growing the people using your application. I mean, there's a lot of people who would love to have iMessage and FaceTime on an Android.
Yeah, but then they have that crappy camera.
Hey, don't get me started. Don't get me started. The Pixels have a pretty sweet camera.
Pixels have a fantastic camera.
Yes, they do.
Marquez Brownlee has a side-by-side that he always does the end of the year, I guess, or something like that. He does a camera like bracket.
Yep.
Right? And I mean, Pixel is very commonly the top one.
Yes, they've come a long way. The cameras on not Microsoft, on Google phones for a while were pretty subpar. But since going into Pixel, they've really kicked up what they're doing.
Well, and what's interesting to me is it seems like, because he does, like, he'll show you the whole thing. Like, he does a side-by-side, people vote, and, like, there's a bracket, and you're A and Bing all of these different, like, same picture, but taken from two different phones. And you're A and Bing all of these different things. It's funny to me how many times it's just the brighter picture that wins. And I'm not like, there are people that are trying to, like, figure out contrast and stuff like that, and they're whatever pixel peeping you can actually do in something like that, but they're looking at that, and now they're judging how well the AI responds and different things. All of that is a thing, but it is very much like hey, we took these two pictures side by side, like at the same time, same person or subject, the same, like they do all of that the same. And they are just saying which one's better, left or right. They're not giving you anything other than that. And it's so funny. Like the Pixel is legitimately a really good camera taking device. But
That it is. And now it all comes with AI.
which is just a totally different, like, what are we even doing anymore? No telling. I love the AI, like, pictures of like Trump and Biden cooking Thanksgiving together and things like that. It's just like, yeah.
It's good for funny pictures. That's
There
for
you
sure.
go. I mean, it happened.
And it's good for
Obviously, it's on the internet.
Morphed up, messed up hands.
Oh yeah. Kris used an AI picture. He was looking for pictures of Jesus taking selfies, and he used those for Sunday, which was hilarious. Evidently, there are some that are not like not necessarily respectful, but one of the ones that he used had the whole like common problem with AI photos is if there's a table in it and then that table like gets blocked by a person, the other end of the table will be like bigger than the first end of the table.
Yep.
I was like, or the person will have a head and no body, like, or the horse has 5 legs.
Yep.
Anyway, it's funny. Like, I just think it's fantastic. But that's the world we live in now.
Yep.
So, we didn't really come up with a winner here, but
well, that's a tough debate to.
I don't. It's not in my mind. It's not even a debate. Like it's a. There are obviously two very like popular options.
Correct.
Sorry, Linux, you're useful for some things, but
good for a server.
Yeah, the majority of the time, though, this like huge revenue stream that is personal computers.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know that Linux is ever going to make the leap. I've been hearing it forever. Kind of like I've been hearing about IPv6 forever. It's becoming generational.
Man, IPv6, that is going to be the wave of the future.
The rate we're going, we have no choice. Because
it's got to happen.
We have truly officially ran out of IPv4.
Yeah.
There's supposedly.
Which is probably why our internet's so shoddy right now, because somebody's using our IP address.
So, yeah, it's tough. I mean, you can get, a bunch of people in the room and put both in front of them, and it's sometimes hard to know who's going to pick which.
Yeah.
I mean, the creative types are naturally going to go Mac, it appears, to me, still. And
that's definitely who they try to cater to.
Yes. And then your more geeky type, if they can't get a Linux box, they're going to take Windows because you can install a full Linux kernel and run it in Windows.
That's true.
So you get a bonus
because
computer
why
out of
not?
the mix.
Why would we make you not be able to do that?
And it's so seamlessly integrated into Windows. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
But then you got guys like Chad that I'm like, what? Boy, you are like firmly in the Mac camp.
He drank the Kool-Aid.
He is pretty nerdy. I mean,
he drank the Kool-Aid.
Really good friend. Love that guy. He's a nerd.
Him and Cody both drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Oh, for sure they did.
Drank the Kool-Aid, no going back.
So anyway, if Chad or Cody are listening, they're probably yelling at me for using the PC at work. I'm sorry.
You finally come around.
It's what's necessary right now for my journey.
You found out the cookies weren't so good on the Mac side.
I don't know. Those cookies are pretty delicious. Anyway.
So, before sounds like we're wrapping.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
We've got a boost.
We got a boost.
We have a
boost.
Is
it Jason?
It is.
Of course it's Jason.
It is.
I love you, Jason.
Yes, and there's numerology to go with it.
Okay, what's the numerology?
5,424. Can you figure it out?
5424. So
5424.
the life, world, and everything is in the middle of it. I don't know.
No, that's
54.
That's 42. Yes.
24.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yeah. 5424.
5424. 5424.
I don't know.
May the 4th, 2024.
Hey, may the 4th be with you.
Yes, his message is, may the 4th be with you. Couldn't resist.
Couldn't resist.
So.
Way to go, Kris.
There it is. So, anybody else out there listening, you can send a boost too.
Especially if you're from Australia.
Yeah, I need a download. Come on, guys. Just one.
Just one.
Like I've said before, you don't have to listen. I just need the download. Give me the download. I complete the set. I'm good. I don't care if you listen. I just want the download. Don't make me have to use a VPN and fake it.
Because we can do that.
Yeah, we can totally do that. Because I'm not going to get Antarctica, and I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
But I want Australia.
But Australia would be really nice.
Yes, it's the one continent we haven't hit.
Man. Other than Antarctica.
Yeah.
We're not going to get.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get that.
Those penguins, they have a hard time with.
Yeah, they don't like podcasts.
Clicking on the button.
So, but I did see a study the other day that said people who listen to podcasts are more intelligent than those who don't.
Well, it would definitely be that would be the case with penguins. If there's a penguin listening to a podcast, I guarantee he's more intelligent than the other penguins.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, well, I don't know if we've swayed anybody.
Oh gosh,
one way or the other. We technically pulled in some Android into that, but
I mean, of course, because it's necessary to talk about now that everything is related.
Yeah. Well, I still say PC for the win.
I know you do.
It's still the language of business.
It's still the language of business.
Yeah. I just had to get a license of M365 in order to run mobile apps on an iPad.
Really?
Yeah. For work.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So.
Sorry, I was looking for a meme that I saw the other day that said that some language, the word for penguin is business goose.
Business goose, okay.
Like if you just translate it directly. Anyway, business goose. For those of you that are... Oh, yeah. The world is a vast hellscape right now, but remember the Mandarin word for penguin literally translates to business goose. Just trying to let you know. Penguins, business geese.
Business geese.
All right.
Keep that in mind.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for buying me a beer.
Yep, enjoyed it. See you, everybody.
See you.
Hey, everybody. Beer and Gear is a value for value podcast. If you made it this far, then I would like to think you found some value from the show. If so, send us a boost with your modern podcast app like Fountain or Podfins. You can find modern podcast apps for Apple and Android at modernpodcastapps.com. When you send a boost, make sure to include a note that we can read on the show. Thanks, everyone.
What will we do with the drunken donor? What will we do with the drunken donor? What will we do with the drunken donor? Early in